portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
As the busy traveling season winds down, officials from the passport office say they have seen a slight reduction in the amount of persons applying for e-passports. Acting Chief Passport Officer Fred Tucker says back in July, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that there were some 6,500 outstanding applications in New Providence. Tucker says up to August 16th, the numbers of applications have reduced to 5,651. This means 849 passports were produced.
We are definitely seeing a reduction in the number of persons that are applying for passports. And as you so rightly said, travel season, I guess, is coming down to a close. Persons are going on vacation and they're going on. Some students are going away to school, of course. But we are seeing some reduction in the enrollment process. And definitely we have implemented our overtime system and in order to address the backlog, and that is having some success. We don't have any specific figures at this point, but we are working aggressively to try to reduce that backlog. Our issuance section, at one point, we were seeing a significant crowd on that side also, but that also has been sort of manageable now. We are not seeing persons. The line has sort of decreased as opposed to two weeks ago when the line was stretched almost across to the parking lot. But that has also reduced, and we are managing about 30-40 persons a day coming in for issuance, and most of those issuance have to do with the $200 rush fee that was implemented.
We also wanted to find out if there will be a decrease in the backlog of e-passport productions before the November 15th deadline.
I mean, we would like to, but it's a very ambitious undertaking. We still have our challenges, and we, as I said, with the overtime system that has been in place, that is only for a period of time. In fact, it comes to an end on the 20th of August. Unless we get approval from the Ministry of Finance to extend that period, then it will be a very ambitious undertaken and projection, and I would not wish to project at this time whether that would be possible. But we will try our best to decrease the numbers. I think since about the 13th of July and the implementation of the policy itself, the new policy, we have put some dent in the number of passports. Reducing the backlog of the 6,500 that was previously mentioned. I think we've issued over about 849 passports since that time.
Every year, hundreds of Bahamian students leave home to obtain a higher education. Many of these students will travel to the United States, Canada, or other foreign countries. Some seek higher education right at home. We're talking about students from the Family Islands who travel to New Providence to attend the College of the Bahamas. Jared Higgs spoke to some of them about how they're feeling about calling Nassau home.
Although Ludesinique Nixon and Keishina Collins are only 16 years old, the two Preston Albury graduates from Eleuthera are ready to take on the College of the Bahamas.
It's definitely like a fish out of water experience. It's very different for me. I'm not used to all the large numbers coming from the Family Islands, but I'll get adjusted eventually.
It's a drastic change leaving Eleuthera, but I know that this is something that I would have to do eventually.
Candace Kelly hails from Forest Heights High School in Abaco. The 16-year-old says she's looking forward to the excitement of the city, but she won't let that distract her.
I'm glad to be visiting to attend the University of the Bahamas. I am a first-generation college student, and it means a lot to me to be able to go to college. I'm a major in English and a minor in Spanish, and I'm just glad to be afforded the opportunity.
Roderick Richards also hails from Preston Albury High School in Eleuthera. He says although he graduated last year, he didn't have the funds to attend college, but he didn't let that stand in his way.
I started working to save up to actually come here, so to know I did all this, I'm proud of myself, proud of my mother for pushing me growing up, without my father really there, so it's just amazing, I overwhelmed.
Roderick's classmates from Eleuthera leave us with these final words.
It's a very exciting yet scary experience for me because I'm not used to it. But I feel like I'm going to do well because I have have courage within myself, and I have a lot of people behind me backing me up.
Coming from the family islands, we don't have a lot of things that the city has. We don't have a lot of the opportunities that we have here in Nassau. So I'm looking forward to more exposure into coming here and doing what I'm supposed to do.
As the college term begins next week, these students will put the peace and quiet of the family islands behind them for a chance at expanding their horizons even beyond this archipelago. Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.
The generous contribution of the late Sir Albert Miller being remembered by Focal Holdings Limited, where Sir Albert served for 33 years as Director, President, Chairman, and Chairman Emeritus. Under his leadership, the company was listed on the Bahamas International Stock Exchange, and the acquisition of Shell International's assets in the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, establishing Focal as the largest petroleum company in this jurisdiction. Focal Chairman Franklin Wilson reminisced on Sir Albert's discipline as one of his rare and exceptional qualities of success.
People who are indisciplined, they're just not, they have to have it now, or they have to do it now, or there's something about an urgency, which is truly self-generated. Sir Albert was not that. He had that discipline. And no doubt, a lot of that came from his military training, ending up with him being Deputy Commissioner of Police.
The late Grand Bahamian businessman is one of Focal's presidents and CEO Anthony Robinson's mentors. Robinson remembered this piece of advice Mr. Miller offered to Focal's management team.
When people of goodwill decide to work together, they can achieve great things. And we use that phrase often in the company today. Whenever we have our management meeting and we're ready to go and conquer new territory, we always reflect upon those words.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Commonwealth Bank incurred $29.2 million in total profit for the first 6 months of the year, according to Bank Chairman report on unaudited results up to June 30th. Now, that figure represents a $3.4 million increase over the same period last year. Total assets amounted to $1.5 billion, above the $1.4 billion gained by December 2014. Now, while revenues increased by $6 million, general and administrative expenses increased by $2.3 million thanks to value-added tax. Executive Chairman William B. Sands Jr.'s report also indicated that the bank is monitoring the ongoing developments with the Bahama project and its potential economic impact for the remainder of the year. In other business news, Financial Services Minister Hope Strawn briefed Her Excellency Rhoda Jackson on the responsibilities of the ministry, including financial services, international trade, the Standards Bureau, commercial arbitration, and local government. The ambassador, who is the Bahamas' permanent mission to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva, Switzerland, paid a courtesy call on Minister Strawn earlier this week. Ambassador Jackson is on home leave from her post as ambassador in Geneva. And in international business news, a well-known brand is set to revamp its flagship brand, that is Gap. It's the largest apparel-focused retailer in the United States, and the company said in a statement this week that profit amounted to 64 cents a share, excluding the 12-cent impact from a move to close about 175 Gap stores and eliminate 250 corporate jobs. Chief Operating Officer Art Peck said he remained confident in its strategies to improve business performance and drive local loyalty going forward. The company said its restructuring efforts may not be as costly as previously projected. The company now expects those actions to cost $130 million and $140 million, compared with the earlier estimates of as much as $160 million. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.
Management and staff here at ZNS surprised one of our colleagues today on starting retirement. Janet Thurston became an employee of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas 31 years ago, and she's remembered by past and present staff members for her pleasant attitude and winning smile. She gave out hugs and kisses and a big cut of a cake today But most of all, Jan says she's just grateful for all that God has given her.
So first of all, I must give him thanks. And then I want to thank the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas for the past and present management that we did teamwork and played well. We played fair. I love this place. You know, I just love to work. And to all the summer students that passed through this library and this corporation, you know, I want to feed them with good food. You must do your best.
They always say people who pass through these doors, they're family. And there have been rough days, and there have been times when, you know, you thought of giving up, but you just held on because you knew that it was something bigger than you.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, and those moments that were rough, know that they meant something, and that it was a stepping stone for you to do your best and to try a little harder for the people that we work for.
And that smile definitely will be missed. My own personal pal, she knows what that means. Hi there, finally. The things you hear in the barbershop or beauty salon. Wow. In Long Island, there aren't too many places to go to have that experience. In tonight's BTC Island Connection, Keisha Adley gets the full treatment from a very satisfied BTC customer.
It's one of those businesses where image is everything.
I can go shorter, but I can't go longer. So I prefer to, you know.
Marcy has been donning this cape for years. And Marcy's beauty spot has held a very valuable distinction.
It's the only one here. We have people that come in, but I'm like the only salon pretty much on the island. So, yeah.
But even so, business with a land and cell phone at her disposal is not something she takes for granted, and she's benefiting from a specialized business service.
The Business Phone Plus, when does that come into play for you in business?
It works for me perfect with when I have to make overseas calls. The rates are a lot lower, so it works perfect for me with that, you know, like where I have to place orders, you know, in Nassau and stuff like that. So it works good with that for me.
Business Phone Plus is really designed for our small to medium business customers. So it's ideally perfect for those customers that are on the Family Island that are just looking for a means to make long distance calls and to make cheap long distance calls.
Do you have the bill of sale and your driver's license?
It's exactly what a business multitasker needs. Marcia also runs an insurance company from her office.
I'll set you up get you your cover note.
Phone service was only available in her area in the early 90s. VHF radios were the order of the day before that. But now?
We got our phones in 94. So I've had the phone, which was then just a regular phone. And then when my kids went away to school, then I got the Vibe. And then when I got my business here, which, you know, I set that up as well. So I've always been with BTC.
And so far it's proven to produce the image and results her business needs. Keisha Adderley for the BTC Island Connection.